Okay, so here's the Corsair. It came out really good, as you can see. I'm gonna actually add some chipping though, just to see if I can make it look a little realistic. So I'm gonna show you how I'm doing that, you know, right now. And then if it doesn't come out, I got more. I got more of this, a glossy sea blue, 71-300, which is what I used on the top to kind of darken everything up. So I'm gonna try and put some chipping on the wing there, and you know, stay tuned, and I'll keep you posted as how it's going. So what I'm gonna use here for my chipping is my 4/0 brush. So you can see it's really nice and skinny. I'm going to use my Model Masters steel. That's going to be sort of my second coating after I use the Mission Models yellows and chromate. And then we're going to use a piece of steel wool, and we're going to just kind of dab it around here where they would walk to get up into the plane. Kind of put it around there, and I'll show you how I'm doing this once I get everything sort of you know, where I need it to be. So, all right. The first thing is you're going to take your Mission Models and you get a little paint out, just a little bit, and then I'm going to use my steel wool, and I kind of kept it loose, so you can kind of see. I'm going to dip the steel wool in there. We're going to get paint on the steel wool. And the key to this is we're going to dab the steel wool on a piece of paper, and you'll see it here. See how it's like, you don't want that. You want to keep dabbing it until you get a nice, there it goes. See it? So now you've got your nice chipping. And then we're going to go down here, right where they would step, and you kind of want to just, and you don't want to ever do the same pattern. You want it to be, you want to turn the steel wool, and then if it gets too much, it's okay. Fear not. You can always just dab it. And make it different. So you can just kind of, and it sort of looks like, I don't want a little heavy right there. That's okay, because this is where they would step. So, you know, of course it says step. But we're going to kind of do that. Get some more paint on here. And we're going to kind of just, I'm going to do some on the side too, just because I think it would have rubbed off as people were getting in. And I think around this whole thing would have been fairly chipped up. And we can make it like, because they would be getting in the plane here, so it would probably be a little bit, I would think there would be a little scratches there. And we're going to put some steel in there too. And we're going to put some steel stuff in there. I'm going to put some chips on this front. The leading edge. So I'm doing a little bit here. I'm going to bring this over here now and show you. I'm doing the leading edge a little bit now here too. So I just want to put some on there. I don't want to get too crazy with it. I don't want to get too crazy, but I want some chips on the leading edge as well. Now you can see I'm not going to do a lot. I'm just going to do a little. Some going down, some going up. And I've got a little bit of, I'm gonna put some steel into this too. So we're gonna get some steel in there too. So I'll keep you posted. That's how I'm doing it, and then I'll kind of show you how it looks when I'm done. The nose, we're still gonna get some in there. And I just kind of swipe it back like this. Get some on there and then just swipe it. Make little marks like it's, like debris hitting it. The beautiful part about this is you really can't mess it up. I mean, if you mess it up, it actually winds up usually looking better. So I'm just switching out the... And one thing that's important to remember, try to switch out the steel wool as it gets compacted. That's the one thing, it'll start making like flat marks on there, and you don't want that. You want it to be nice and like spread apart. So the marks it makes are nice and spread apart. So like what I'll do is I take a piece of steel wool like this, and I like it to be, oh, it's a little too small, but I like to take a piece sort of like this and then keep all of those like hairs in there. Because that's what makes your chips real nice and fine, is all of that hair, the steel hair. So then again, you just come in here. Let's see here if we can get you a better shot of this. And you can just kind of see I'm just swiping it on there. Let's see if we can get over here, get you a little better shot of this. Oh yeah, there we go. So let's zoom in a little. I'm working on that section right now. You also have to put a lot of, it takes a lot of paint to get this right. So it takes a lot to get it right, but here you go. See, and then you can get some just on the inside of the cowl. And then you brush it, it looks like, it's been hit with a bunch of stuff. So there you go. And that's kind of how I did the cowl. Hopefully you can kind of see it. I'm going to get you nice and close in here. And we'll really look at how it came out. There you go. And then the front of the leading edge of the wing, I'm going to do a little more on the radiators, but that's sort of how the leading edge of the wing came out. I didn't want it too much, and I'm still probably even going to go over that. That's how I did the side, the step. And I did some on the side going in. I might do a little bit more, but I'm still going to put steel on there too, because I'll show you how I sort of connect all this with the steel, and it'll look, sort of get that 3D effect to it once you put a little steel in there. And as always, if you think you got too much in there, just go over it with some Scotch-Brite. You know, it'll tone it down, go in the direction of the airflow. You can do the side as well, and it'll just tone it down. Let's get a wider shot of that. So we'll just tone it down a little bit, go in the direction of the airflow, and nice, big, sweeping, sweeping motions, so that it's, not just that section. You don't want it to look different. But you can see, that just tones it down. I'm going to do the same thing to the leading edge of the wing now. And it's just going to it's going to blend everything in real nice. I think it's going to give it a real natural look. It just tones everything down. So remember, Scotch-Brite is your friend. When I'm done with this, it'll take the paint off the front too, so it'll really add a lot of natural, it'll make it look really natural. And all I'm doing, again, is if you look at, like on the fin, I'm just doing this and just kind of going in the direction of the airflow, and you can kind of see how it starts toning down. And all of that stuff I just added now gets toned down, and it gets a really nice, realistic look to it. So I'm going to start adding my steel, and I'm going to show you how I do that, because I just want to kind of show how that works. So okay, stand by, and I'm going to show you how I connect this all. I got my Model Masters. Key here is limited paint on the brush. So you dip the brush in, you got a little bit of paint on there, right? The key again is going to be to get most of the paint off the brush. And then you come in here, and you're going to do like the edges here. And you're just going to kind of keep getting all that paint off the brush. It's not dry brushing, I wouldn't say. It's not dry brushing. It's almost dry brushing. You just want a tiny little bit of paint in there. And then the nice part about when you go in the inside of these places where you do the zinc chromate, the cool part is it's going to give it a real like 3D kind of look to the chip. And you only want to do, you don't want to do them all, you just want to do some of them, because not all of them are going to go down to the steel. Not all of them at all. So you just want to get some on the edges of the step, some of this, and really just kind of limited on the, come up on the side here, and it's actually coming out pretty good. I like the effect I'm getting, especially on the canopy. Some of this is going to want to be steel, because the canopy, even though it has zinc chromate on it, is going to be a lot of steel. So here's how I'm doing the canopy. Same deal, very little paint. Just kind of staying inside the lines on here, and just going inside where I got zinc chromate to give it that 3D look, to give it that and it'll look pretty good, I think. And then again, if you don't think it's good, just go over with steel wool, and it'll knock it down a little bit, and it'll look really natural. even up here on the canopy. Same thing. It looks really natural. And actually, I think it looks better when you take it off a little bit. It looks really natural. So that's kind of how the chipping is going to go here. Let's get a nice tight shot of that. That's sort of the effect I'm looking for. Let me get you a really tight shot of that. That's kind of the effect I'm looking for. And you get kind of some steel in there. I'm going to get some steel on the side there. And then there's the canopy. You got some, I'll get a little wider shot there. So that kind of looks reasonable facsimile. So I'm going to leave it like that. And that is how I'm going to do the whole thing. And now I'm just going to do the rest of the plane. There's my nacelle. I'm going to put some steel in there too. But yeah, all right. Well, that's how I did it. Hopefully, it came out, and I'll put this up so that you guys can get a good idea of what it looks like. I think it's worth it to show you how I'm doing this too. I'm starting to do the edges of the flight controls, and a lot of times the edges would just wear. So I'm just taking my brush and putting a little bit of zinc chromate paint on there. You can kind of see it. Not a lot of paint on there. And then I'm just going over the edges and making it look like the edges are wore, but I'm not doing the whole surface. So I'm just kind of doing this, and then you'll see the effect I'm getting is just this. Let's see if I can really get in here for you. There you go. You get a good picture of it. It's not a lot of paint, but it's just enough to get the back edges, because like the back edges would wear. Almost again, it's almost like a dry brushing. But I'll show you pictures of that when I'm all done. So, but that's just the technique. All I'm doing is getting a little bit of paint on the brush. Where am I at here? Okay, and then all I'm doing is, with a little bit of paint, I'm just kind of going over the panel lines, and I'm not doing the whole thing. And I'm blending it in, like you can see with the brush, and then I'll even go over with my finger like that, and you get a nice kind of faded sort of panel line look, and you can kind of see it there. Let's get a little wider view. Coming out really good. So I'm gonna put this all up in my video later, so you guys can see how I did all of this. And there again, it's just, and if you get too much on there, it's actually really okay. Because again, all you're gonna do is go over with your brush, keep dry brushing it. And it just starts looking like those panel lines are faded in between. So I'm going to do this wing, and then I'm going to show you when I'm all done. Stay tuned. Okay, so here's the effect that you get. You can kind of see it. Came out really nice. Not too much. I don't think it's too much at all. If anything, I don't know if I have enough. That's my chipping on the side. And then there's that weathering I was telling you about on the edges. And then there's the leading edge. There's that. And that's how it kind of came out. It came out really nice. You got your front. You can kind of see in there, there's some chips. There's the leading edge here. And you got your leading edge. And then there's the top of the wing. So that's kind of a walk around it, of how I kind of wanted it. And there's the tail. Just kind of looks like crap. And that's how we're going to kind of leave it. And get some pictures for you, and then I'm going to put this up on YouTube, so you can kind of see the finished product. Hope you enjoyed it, and this is probably the last I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to do much more with it. I'm going to leave it now. So thanks for watching.